Welcome to the FaceTime with God podcast. I'm your host, Kay Farrar, and yes, you have tuned in to the right place because we're bringing Christ to the culture and the culture to Christ. Because the gospel's not for old times, it's for all times. So we've got relevant topics, real people, and we're starting right now.
A friend, Trey Sorrells, he's a saxophonist up in DC, Baltimore area. It was his, and I bought it off of him. Mother of pearl keys, ribbed construction, double braced. It's one of the top models.
Awesome.
And it's actually a reason why I picked this horn specifically was because it was it's really similar to the King Super 20, which is what Cannonball Adderley played. And I actually had one from that era. I had a 1955 King Super 20 with full pearls and like everything. And I ended up selling it because he only played one style on it. When I tried to play classical, it just didn't want to do it. And so
it just was too slow moving.
No, it's actually faster. It's faster than this horn actually. It's way faster. It's the tone. Because they were made mainly for like the R&B, rock and roll. And then Cannonball Adderley, when he started playing jazz, because he started off with Ray Charles's band and all that stuff. Then the King Super 20 got popular in jazz. But really, I can't really remember it being popular before him.
Gotcha.
You know?
It's something.
Yeah.
It's like the person can change, to kind of like change a whole, era.
Yeah.
Because of one person that everybody loves.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. What is the so one thing about jazz, that makes it complex, is different time signatures.
Yes.
And jazz can come up with some crazy time signatures.
I know.
And as a drummer, I'm like, Lord, I don't know how you even know with that one. What's your favorite different time signature?
5.
Okay. Count that out. How would you?
Well, some people count it out. They divide it in 3 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Right. I guess I do the same thing. Subconsciously. That's how I feel the rhythm. Yeah.
Wow. What's the most challenging concept to teach your students? Would it be time signature? Would it be reading charts properly, speed reading them?
Reading charts properly with the right interpretation and the correct musicality. And it's really interesting because I have some students who are like robots. Like you put something in front of them and they can just do the whole physical thing. But I'm like, it sounds dead. I don't feel that the music is really alive. But then some may not have necessarily the greatest technical ability, but they have a high level of musicality.
Wow.
But I didn't really until I started taking private lessons in high school with James Gates. But before then, no one really talked about musicality. That much outside of a group setting. Of course, if you were playing concert band, you're like, okay, dynamics, articulation, right? But like as just me by myself, I didn't understand like why did that matter? I didn't care about crescendos. I just want to play my horn.
So give us an example of like a mechanical, playing a song, and it could be familiar, something people would know, whatever you want to pick. And play it like mechanically. Okay. And then play it with feeling.
Okay.
So we can.
I'm gonna choose classical. I'm gonna choose a classical piece. This is I'm just play a little short version of the Improv Caprice. By Boza. Okay. The Caprice part. That's the one. I'm gonna play.
Whoa.
And a lot of my students will play it just like that. You know, but then they'll forget about dynamics. I was like, Boza. He wrote, it's really funny because Eugene Boza, he wrote this improv caprice, which is very technical, super like advanced. But then he also wrote another piece called Aria, and it's the most beautiful piece ever. But the thing is, the similarity between both of them is that they're both dramatic. They're all dramatic. So when I'm playing the caprice, even though it's fast, you still got to add some. Like, where are you going? You know?
So
like,
much,
whoa,
yes.
You know?
So much better. Wow.
And I played it better this time, too.
No, but it makes it so much more enjoyable when you have, like you said, that feeling. And, love that. Love that. All right, I want to get maybe one of your CDs if somebody could pass us one. Or you got one here? Okay, look, I should have looked right here instead of looking all the way up there.
Yes, that's my mom's artwork.
Awesome. I love this. We have to, I know we can get a close-up on this so everybody can see it, but I love this artwork. I love this. Oh my gosh. So awesome. So creative. And I love that. I'm trying to see now. Is the title on here?
No, it's not.
That's what I thought. I love that it's not.
Yeah.
You know, the absence of things sometimes makes things more interesting.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all saw the replay I put up with Rex, and it had no words. It just had his picture. I think sometimes you'll click it. Well, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So it's good. Things like this make you stand out. This is so awesome. I love this. All right, and where did you record it?
So I recorded it at Manifold Studios in North Carolina's big room.
Okay.
Very open, high ceilings. I didn't want to record in I guess you would call it traditional studio, because most studios now are smaller because no one's going to pay that much to have all that equipment and manage your space. But it's like even though the rooms are treated, it sounds dead because there's just so much cushioning and it's like everything, the sound just stops. So for acoustic jazz specifically, I wanted to make sure I had an open room where everything, it just feels like we're just playing live. You don't feel stuffed. And did you play like into a standing mic, or did you clip? I did a standing mic.
Okay.
They had I think 3 mics, different mics.
Get your room sound and then get your direct sound and all that good stuff.
Get the bell sound and all that stuff.
I have never, we've recorded some live stuff in here. I may play a little of something and get your feedback on it at the end. Whatever. But I have never recorded a horn.
They're tricky. Horns are tricky.
Because honestly, even while you were playing, look me, I'm like, are we overloading that mic? I don't know if we are. I was like, oh my God, I hope the sound is gonna be right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do it right. For sure. Horns, you gotta do it right. So, how many horns do you have?
I have 3. Alto, soprano, and tenor. My dream is to get a baritone. Just to have one. I won't get called for it. And a truck to carry it in. Yeah, exactly.
Right? Oh my God. How heavy are those things?
They're not too heavy.
Or it's big.
I say that. I don't carry it around.
Yeah, right.
I haven't really, spent too much time with it. But
what's your favorite?
Right now, it's alto.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm gonna say this. My favorite is tenor.
In other words, he like them all.
It's different because I like tenor the most. However, for me personally, my development, alto has always been a challenge, and I like a challenge. I think tenor just kind of it's easier for me to express myself.
Really?
But for alto, I feel like it's a little difficult. But when I am finding it now, actually, so I'm playing it more. But as I'm finding myself within the alto, it's like, oh, this is a whole different person, or sound that I'm getting out of it that I'm used to.
Yeah.
But I played this the most. Alto's my main. I've been playing for years.
He's holding it like a baby. Have you ever recorded in a booth?
In that one? Like that one? Yeah.
I don't know. Would they put a horn in a booth?
Yeah, they would. A lot of people do isolate the horns like that. I prefer not. I don't like that separation.
Yeah. How about your wife? Did she record in the booth?
Yeah. Oh yeah, all day. Her vocals.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't like vocals in the booth anymore.
What? You know, that's interesting.
It's so funny.
Because what's your take on it?
You know, so back in the day, when Tex was in Bloodline, I don't know if Tex remember practicing in this very room. It's like none of this stuff was in here really. So gradually. So after Deborah came, she said, "You need to get your own studio so you can record your own stuff." And so then I had to have a booth. That booth, oh my gosh. Ordering a booth, you're going to be $5,000 and that's going to be an empty booth with no treatment on the inside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then 4x4 booths are not practical. 4x4 acoustically, it's not good. And all you're going to get in a room like this is a 4x4 booth. Yeah. So sound booths, the walls are supposed to be not equal. They're supposed to be unequal.
Got you.
For a good sound booth. For a good sound booth. Because you don't want it's supposed to, and a 4x4 is the worst, that's the worst booth. So anyway, I got plans for the booth. We're going to make one. So we built that. That's a handmade booth.
Yo.
I did most of the inside. I did a little bit of the outside. I hired a contractor.
Yeah.
If you look at the panel, look how thick the walls are. You see that? Dang. So I want y'all. Yeah, since we're talking about the booth, y'all get a shot of the booth. You don't have to get it now. We can add it in later. But so then you got to get a window in the booth. Then when you make the booth soundproof, sound travels on air.
Right.
So if the sound can't travel, guess what you don't have in the booth?
No air.
So then you got to put, and it's an air unit on the back of the booth. You got to put an air unit that's separated so that sound doesn't travel into the booth, but you're able to get air. I used to have my singers in there. I didn't want to turn that. I remember one of my singers was in the booth. She was like, I can't breathe. Oh my gosh, I didn't turn the air button on because I felt like the air was making noise. But anyway, booths is a headache. Let me just tell you.
Yeah, I'm
interested to know what kind of booth. Only thing I would record in a booth is voiceover.
Voiceovers all day.
But singing in a booth, not one like this.
I mean, in the place that we recorded at, the booths were, there were really booths. There was just large. They were like super large booths.
Yeah.
You know?
Super large,
it wasn't like you said, 4x4. That's probably the biggest difference.
4x4, 5x6, any of them. Because then because it's so cramped and the sound is so, and it's not resonant. Just like you said, you want to be in an open room because you want it to resonate a little bit. That gives it feeling.
Exactly.
So then you suck all the feeling out. Then you got to go over here and put plugins in to try to put it back.
It's like,
why don't you take it out? So technically, you sitting in my booth right now.
Yeah.
Because this is the big booth now.
This is cool.
You know what I'm saying?
This is cool.
Now, for the most part. Because, we got, and the sound treatment. But anyway, we got rid of the booth, but it's weigh about, I don't know, maybe weigh 5,000 pounds. So I don't know how much. So it's not going anywhere. Because that booth going to be there. I had sound treatment guys come. I had the guy that invented these. They call Aeolian diffusers.
Those.
Yep. Usher ordered some. The man was talking about. He sold some to Usher. I don't know if Usher kept them. He might have kept them. I don't know. But his were designed a little bit. Yeah, but he has a patent on those. They actually came here and helped me tune my room and everything. It's crazy. Yeah. They said with that booth, they was like, well, you know what? It's a big bass trap, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, right.
It's a big bass trap for the room. But anyway, Dexter, this is so awesome. You brought a book. Wow. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah. So Dexter's Sound Becomes King. This is actually written by my mom, Gwen R.C. Moses. it was on her heart to write a book about me growing up and playing different instruments, being able to play the saxophone despite my asthma, which I still deal with.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can go through and see all the way from...
That is an awesome testimony.
Yeah.
Ah, now I see. Now I don't know, but I see Dexter in here playing a lot of instruments. You played around with them. Most musicians play with something else.
The drums and piano, I was pretty into. The guitar, once I realized each string was a different note, I was like, this ain't. I was like, this ain't for me. But the drums and piano, those were the ones that resonated. Wow. And still resonate with me the most.
It's so awesome and so inspirational. Love this.
Yeah, playing the recorder.
All right, so we'll give you any final words or any final tune. How would you like to close this out, Dexter? Because this has been awesome.
Matthew 25:23. You know, his master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things."
Yes. Amen and amen. Wow.
The thing is, no matter what you are into, especially now, artistically speaking, you know, beyond music, if it's something positive, right, that you want to do, and that you feel in your heart to just put out there, just do it. Because who's gonna, like, who's no one has really the right to say you can't do this or you can't do that. I mean, if it's something that you feel really strongly about, and no one's going to believe in your stuff more than you are. So just go ahead and do it and take that leap, really, you know. Absolutely. Take that chance. It's going to hit somebody. Absolutely. It will.
Absolutely. Look, we receive that for the podcast, right? We can receive that. We can receive that for what we're doing. So this is awesome. I thank God for the gift that he put in you. I thank God for your mom. And I'm sure so many others, your mentors and all that have encouraged you and supported you back in the day when you said, I want a saxophone.
I know.
And back when you were tooting all around the house and hurting folks' ears. And
grandma, just noise up. Like,
cut it up. Go in the attic. Go in the garage. But look at where it landed you, you know, your own CD, a book written about you, teaching students in 2 universities, hosting a radio show. So God has definitely used you, like we said in the beginning, you know, as a arrow in his quiver. And I pray you continue to hit every target that he's ordained for you.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for joining us on FaceTime with God. And we look forward to maybe having you back.
Yeah. Thank you.
All righty.
Colossians 3:23 and 24. And whatever you do, do it with all your heart as unto the Lord and not unto men, knowing that it's of the Lord that you shall receive the reward of the inheritance, because you serve the Lord Christ.